Non-dual meditation, I am. This meditation aims to enter into intimate and direct contact with the self, the true self. Feel its presence, its fullness, and its permanence. Ideally, you should sit in a comfortable position with eyes closed, taking relaxed breaths and listening carefully what has been said. Let's start. Let's leave everything behind now. Let's be willing to lose everything, even what we love so much. The only thing that separates us from the presence of the self are the concepts we have of ourselves. We will peel all the shells, all the concepts, all the ideas, until we reach the core, the true self, when there is nothing left, nothing that we can hold on to. Then we will feel the presence of that self. I leave behind everything I think I am, for no identification is real. Everything that can be discarded is not me. I am not what I think I am. I am not my name. I am not a person, nor an individual. I am not my character or my personality. I am not my story. I am not the role I assume or the masks I wear. I am not my image in the mirror. I am nothing to point to. I am not a man or a woman. I'm not a human being. I am not even a living being. I am not something or someone in particular. I am not my body or my mind. I am neither this nor that. I am nothing that words can say. I am nothing of what I identify with. When nothing else can be removed, then the true self shines. The true self is what remains when nothing remains. I can say nothing about myself except that I am. That's the only thing I know for sure. Everything else comes from the observations of the senses, which are not to be trusted. The senses are not reliable because they are intermediaries. Only inner consciousness can be trusted, for it is direct and intimate knowledge. Everything that comes after is nothing more than assumptions and beliefs. Everything else does nothing but hide my being, forgetting what I am, like entering a dream. Even if this was all a dream, the only thing I can be sure of in this dream is that I am. This I am is pure consciousness, impersonal, disembodied, disidentified from any object or subject. This consciousness is what is always awake in me, no matter how deep the dream is. I am this or that are vain and misleading words. All identifications are false, losing sight of the true self. All names are fake. I am is the true name. I am is the name of God. I am that I am. We overlook this truth every day. By force of habit, we go after external things, driven by the senses and appearances, ignoring what we know intimately. We walk as in a dream, believing that the dream is reality. We live based on assumptions, and it is clear that assumptions lead to ignorance and ignorance to suffering. We are not here to continue hiding the truth, much less to suffer. We are here to recognize the truth and discover the immeasurable treasure it holds. Let's take a look at this self for a moment. Is this self of the present different from the self of the past? No, this self is always the same self, invariably unchanged, whatever the circumstances. Ever present. It is found in both pleasure and pain. The self is the only unconditional thing in all experience. Despite the external conflict, the self remains unchanged. Self is the background over which all conflict and resolution occurs. Therefore, this self cannot be affected by anything. Thus, the true self is fearless, and its true nature is peace and security. My true self, always present, is permanent peace. Again, let's take a look at this self for a moment. Could this self be divided? Could it have something different from itself in itself? Impossible. In this I, there is only I and nothing else. It is itself entirely, without division or conflict. Even when this body is sick, the self cannot be sick. The self is the background against which all illness and healing occurs. Therefore, the self is invulnerable to disease and forever whole and complete. Thus, this I, that I am, is unconditional health. Again, let's take a look at this self for a moment. Does this I need something else to be? Is something missing? No, because it is already complete. Its being is its own fullness, even though it is empty of everything. Being is all that I am and all that I have. There is nothing more and nothing less. Therefore, this self does not need anything. It lacks nothing. It is complete in itself, self-satisfied. Even when the body has needs, the self does not. My true self, always present, is unconditional contentment or happiness. Again, let's take a look at this self for a moment. In this self, can there be something other than itself? No, that would be impossible. In this self, there is only self. There can be no division, no conflict, no separation, no difference in this self. Therefore, this I is one, in perfect unity, homogeneous, indivisible, complete. This is love, the union of what was never divided, the certainty of unity. My true self, always present, is unconditional love. For just being, I have all this peace, love, and happiness. Isn't this wonderful? What immense grace! What immense goodness! Such a great treasure that I always had and did not know. I have covered this treasure with ignorance and ingratitude, believing that other things, people, experiences, or circumstances could give me what my soul yearns for. I have looked outside myself for what was always here in my being. My being is all that I am, all that I need, and all that I already have. My senses have deceived me all this time, hiding from me what is evident to the Spirit. The smallest and most insignificant of all things, and yet it is everything to me. The being is the water from which one drinks and no longer thirsts. Such is the contentment and grace of just being. If the mind thinks it needs something, it lies. If the mind believes that something is missing, it lies. If the mind believes that it can be harmed, it lies. The mind, ignoring the true self and identifying with the body, imposes the same limitations of the body on the self. That is why the mind believes that it needs something, that it lacks something, hence its constant agitation and dissatisfaction. This error is discovered and removed by the truth. Only the truth frees from the chains of ignorance and suffering. The true self does not need anything. It lacks nothing and nothing can harm it. The true self has no limitations, neither is born nor dies. It is always itself, without changes. The nature of the true self is unconditional peace and happiness. Let us feel this inherent peace and happiness. In perfect unity with itself, the self expresses its unconditional love. Let us feel this love in us and between us. Only this is lasting happiness. Only this is freedom. The whole practice is summed up in remaining in the presence of the true self and being satisfied by just being. If we are happy for just being, we will be happy in any circumstance. The grace and love of being infinite intelligence, will free us from all slavery. Its own grace and love will cleanse our minds of all ignorance and sense of individuality until we become one with it, in heart and mind. Let's leave everything in its hands and enjoy its loving presence. Blessed be the truth that frees us from all darkness and makes us live in light.